Hello everyone, it's Jimmy, and firstly I apologise for not doing a video in quite some time now. I can use the old busy excuse, which yeah, we're all busy, everyone's busy, but at the end of the day there's always time to do a video. So there's no excuses, I just haven't done it, and sometimes I guess you're just not too motivated or whatever, but you know what, I had some time and I thought about the unloved part of my collection, the in-betweeners, the stuff you know as a collector you come across and think it's interesting, you purchase it, and it doesn't break the bank. It's something that's cheap, it's interesting, and you put it in your collection. It usually doesn't see doesn't see the daylight. Usually just tucked away somewhere. So I've got a pile here of all different random stuff, most of vintage, and then at the back I've got a few boxed pieces that were cool that I came across. None of it cost much, but yeah, most of them were bought. There's always some little story behind it. It might have been somewhere for the weekend, or just with a family doing something. You come across a little antique shop or a little vintage store or something, and you end up finding something that's just sitting there unloved, and if it interests me, I'll purchase it. So let's go through it all. I'll just pick out random ones at a time. We'll take a look. If there's a little story to go with it that's interesting, I'll tell you that story. Some of you will like this kind of stuff. Some of you are probably just going to be bored to shit, so you won't watch anyway. But yeah, let's give it a go. We'll just start just anyway. By the way, I'm wearing my AP, the indigo blue offshore chronograph. So yeah, obviously I like my high-end shit. I mean, who doesn't? But at the same time, I get a lot of enjoyment out of finding these things. When you go on a little hunt and you find something that's cool, bring it home with you. It's awesome. So here we have like an early Vostok, I guess. But this is actually from the Soviet time, so it's an original from back then. Picked this up from a little watchmaker in Melbourne, and I think it was great because we had a little bit of a haggle. I think I got it for $80, 100, I don't know, something like that. Yeah, Russia not being too popular at the moment, but yeah, it's a cool watch nonetheless. So there's that there. See the logo on the dial's cool. Okay, that's number one. So this is a little, what's it say there? Is it a Tissot? Yeah. A little Tissot. Bought this because I like the case. It reminds me of the Hoya Camaros. It's got the same style case except a bit smaller. On a cool old vintage strap. Still in nice condition. Love the vintage straps. They're always really thin and delicate. And the buckles are usually really thin too. Is that there? Interesting dial texture. Yeah. This was a cool one. Picked it up at an antique show many years ago. Very close to new old stock. So it's one of those jump out type, cheap manual wound type Swiss watches from probably the 60s. So if wrong way, like that, you can see it jumps, and then it jumps again. Yeah, and it's displayed in a digital way. So it's just a chrome plated case. Pretty interesting. Most of these you find are beaten to hell and back. So the crystal's really nice, and the brushing, it's all still there. It's all good. This, I have no idea why I purchased it. I like Panerai at the time. I had one. Came across this as another sort of vintage bazaar, and well, at least it's more of a homage. It doesn't say Panerai on it anywhere. Um, and it's still got the stickers on it. I never wore it. I don't know why. It was cheap. This one I can't explain why I bought. Anyway, it's there. This one I like because it has that what they called a telephone dial. So like the early telephones where you put your finger in the dialer to turn it. You gotta be old enough to remember them. And the gold plating was really nice, black dial, Timex, cool watch. This I remember I bought this watch, so I've got a cheap strap on it. The strap's rubbish, it's plasticky, not real leather. I bought this because I like the Florentine bezel, and the plating was still nice on it too. Hands are terrible. If I had a nicer set of hands, it'd be quite a nice watch. There's that. I like this Calatrava style Doxa. Yes, it's got that damaged dial, but it's so honest and original. Like the dials with the Explorer style, 369s. It's cool, very legible little watch. Love the dolphin or sword type hands. Found this bracelet that fits perfect. Only problem is it's a Tissot bracelet. But yeah, fits on there perfectly. There's that. This was a cool little find. Have a close look. You can see it is a Zenith. Sterling silver case with enamel. I think someone was planning on scrapping it at some point, I think, because they tried to scratch the enamel out. They started and gave up. There's a few spots, and you can see where they've been scratching the enamel out. What this is it's like a travel clock. So if I can get it to open without dropping it. There we go. So it opens up. It's meant to sit more or less like that. So it's fully sterling silver, and I love it because it's got a ton of hallmarks on it. Every piece is hallmarked. You can see. And it's survived beautifully. As you can see, you wind it right there. I think the patina on it is just perfect. This piece is an interesting one. This was my father's watch, and I think I remember him wearing it. Never really paid great attention. I know there was I remember a handful of watches he wore that I really remember well. This one, I think he did. Doesn't look like it's got very little wear on it though. And after he passed, yeah, we found this, so I took it into my collection, and I think it's one of those copies. I don't think it's a genuine say. I don't know. If anyone knows by looking at this thing, I'll move the hands. It screws down, it does all the stuff. Everything operates nicely on it. I don't know why. Moving the hands is very light. I must say, it feels cheap. But I'm certain that, yeah, manual lines, and then it screws down. You can see the inner ring is completely off. Yeah, not sure. The band, I think it's just dissolved. It's gone really hard. Obviously, he didn't even really like it because it's barely been worn. So yeah, there's that. Here is Citizen Bullhorn. bullhorn because it's got the chronograph pushers at the top. Now I bought this off eBay a long time ago, and it's got the brown PVD case and the gold bezel, which is faded. I just thought it's so cool and retro looking. It had been restored, so you can see it's got a fresh dial and whatnot in it, and it worked really well. And it's only recently I think I was just winding it up and having a bit of a play with it, and the chrono hand, it's stuffed up. It stopped resetting where it should. So look, it's just been thrown in with the rest, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't really want to spend any money on it. So there's that. This is quite a nice Seiko. Like I've had the case back off quite a high-end movement, so it's let me see closer what it says there. 30 joules, DiaShock 30 joules. So it's a 30 joule movement. I've had the case back off. It's very high grade by the look of it. The case is very interesting. They're really thin down lugs. Interesting sort of profile. And it's a C-line. It's got a C-line case back. So yeah, I just found it at another antique market or something like that. Here we have a boy size Tudor, probably from the, I don't know, 40s. Pretty cool. It only runs momentarily. That's the other thing. Probably about 90% of these watches run. How well they run, I don't know, but they do run. And yeah, maybe 10% of them are either having problems, running on and off or that kind of thing. Bought this simply because it was very clean, and it's got a Tiffany dial. It's not Tiffany, the jewelry house, but I thought that's cool. I gave it to my daughter. I don't think she's ever really worn it. I found this new old stock vintage bracelet, which is kind of cool. It's got that Vacheron 222 look, and it is an original vintage one, just new old stock, which is really cool. And it fits on there nice. So yeah, I gave it to her, but I don't think she's worn it. This one here is just thrown in the pile because I found it with the watches. It's dead now, but my littlest daughter's, my youngest daughter, her first nice watch, because she always was really, interested in anything I do, and she was really the first one in the family to ask me, I want a watch like you, Dad. So we got her the Baby G. She wore the hell out of it at school. You can see the patina on it. And she was very little, maybe a preppy. What's that? Now, this is one of those brands where they're just making up all names and stamping them on dials and then never hear them again. So it's a Gouda, is it? Gouda. So, interesting case. Just a random one. It looks absolutely horrible on that strap. It's probably just been put on that. I can't remember putting it on that. $50. Yeah, that's just, don't know the story behind that one. This I found in an antique market, and I liked it because I think it was maybe the case was blued or something. It looked like a gunman's lost its bluing. Just, love that patina on it, the way the case is all gone, yeah. It's just a random one. This my kids bought me for my birthday a few years ago. You see, I wore it a fair bit. It's a bit scratched up. Battery's still going. Yeah, they're cool, these little world times. You can change the world time by this one up. No, that's a light. What was that say? Search. Oh, hang on, maybe it's this one. Yeah, there it is. No. Oh, there it goes. Okay, it's apparently New York, London, Paris, Sydney. Yep. Hoya split second chrono. Yep, sticker's still there. You can just see the Hoya logo. There it is. Would normally have the reference here, serial and reference and that stuff. That's cool. I bought this just because it's a split second chronograph. Cheapest split second you'll find is a pocket watch version. Yeah, very early wristwatch, probably from, I don't know, this might be the 20s. Like that sort of Art Deco numerals, pretty cool. It's got the pencil hands. Well, it's got like a pencil hand and a syringe hand, look. Yeah, this will be old school radium. Bit of rose gold plating. We've got a Waltham. So this is a president with the eagle on there. Again, probably bought it because it's got the 369. I like them when they're done like that. So there's that. There's this little one here. I like the full Arabic numeral dial, and the blued pencil hands are pretty cool. Very small though. Interesting. It's got a case back. Yeah, C46. So Vietnam disposable little Westclox. I think it's a Westclox. Yeah, got this on the original strap too. Got this from a military fair. Let's put that up there. 1967. Now it looks pretty much new old stock, I'd imagine. But being so old, you wind it. It does run, but then it just stops. And apparently you can pull the movement out through the crystal or something if you want to muck around with them. But look, we're not going to worry about doing that. But it winds really nicely. Yeah, so there's that one. This is interesting. I don't remember where I got it, but it's just like a little pendant watch for ladies. But I love the pattern on it. Amazing. It's got like a medallion on the back, and the problem is it's fully wound. So I know that's a pretty easy fix if you can just get it open, and sometimes you can just get the balance going, or even just a little bit of lighter fluid. Sometimes it'll clean any little bit of shit out of it, and then they'll get going. Yeah, but I honestly cannot work out how to get that apart. I don't know. It's funny enough, my wife liked this one. I was going to put on a chain for her. She actually was interested in wearing it, which is funny because she's never interested in anything vintage or that belonged to someone else. She's not into that kind of thing. So, but she liked that piece. This is my big Seiko. I used to wear this on the farm a fair bit. I haven't worn it in a long time. I think it's called the Turtle. I got it when they sort of first re-released these. Might have been 10 years ago or something. Good watch, very heavy though. This is a real piece of junk. I don't know why I bought this. It's a Hulbros, but I don't know. What are these things? Are they? Dial looks very Chinese and fake, and I don't know. It's an odd one. Some just cheapy crap thing. Yeah, must have been very cheap. I can't remember why I bought it exactly. I must have been bored. Really like this. Love the dial, love the hands, the patina of it, the case shape. I just wish it was a bit bigger. It's probably 33 mil. It's got a decent sized crown on it. The red second hand's cool. You know, it's got the original strap, or at least a period correct one. Very old strap, but very clean. Obviously, if it's got the old, sometimes you get boxes with old straps and they're manky, so you just obviously throw them in the bin and clean up, you know. But when they present really clean like this, I like it. Really nice. Yeah. This, a few years ago, I don't know why, when we were really into vintage and we knew we were never going to be buying Paul Newmans. Me and my son, my brother, we bought a few of these just to have some fun. I probably wore it a handful of times and that's it. Come on a bracelet, it's just been put on a vintage strap. We'll hand it to the, the movement is impressive for the money. I think it was, these were a couple $100 for a manual chronograph. And if I remember correctly, I think it might be originally a Venus movement that the Chinese bought the machinery back in the day and then continued making the movement. But it seems to be a reliable movement. So I mean, I haven't worn it much, so I shouldn't really say that. Another Seiko, the emerald green one. Bought this when they first came out, got a discount, and wore the heck out of it on the farm. Really enjoyed it. It's one of those ones where I wore it and I realised you can have just as much enjoyment out of it, whatever this was, $300, $300 something, whatever it was. That you could enjoy this just as much as having a Rolex on your wrist, which was really cool. I enjoyed wearing that watch. Here's an old Cyma, probably from the 50s. Beautiful dial, it's got like a satinized dial. Yeah, really nice. This one, I think the mainspring, I don't think it's broken. I think it's slipping in the barrel because you continue winding it and then it just runs out of juice. You'll get it going. But then it just runs out of juice. Yeah, all original, the original crown. What do we got here? Seiko, probably from the late 60s or early 70s. This one here, believe it or not, I bought, it was absolutely trashed. And it was one of those ones where I thought, I'm gonna try restoring it myself. Now I did a long time ago, so it's not as polished as it once was, but I literally pulled it all apart, took the movement out. The only thing is I cracked the crystal when I took it out, so I put the crystal back in, it's got a split in it. Otherwise it'd be pretty good. And I didn't bother trying to buy crystals and fit, I don't know, I just put this one back in anyway. But so I went with the brushing on the flat surfaces on the front here, then I polished those parts there, as you can see, brushed the sides, mind you, with very basic tools, because I don't have tools that are for watchmaking. Brushed the bracelet, polished the end link. So brushed the bracelet. Bracelet stretched to hell, but did it anyway. And yeah, that's how it came up. And you know what, guys, I've got a lot of stuff to get through here, so maybe we'll stop this video and we'll do another one to finish off the other half pretty much. So yeah, guys, we'll leave it there and then we'll do round 2. All right, see you later.